last call show where we kind of like the last dance before the weekend, and we'd have our big football shows on Saturday and Sunday, and they're packed this week. I think the cappers saw your guys' reaction to the shows, and now it's like the cappers that I've never even had video calls with want to be on the show. So it's like I need to get back to some of them as well to be on there. But I'm excited about everything that's going on, and of course, hopefully you guys saw the halftime last night and join us for halftime all the time. But these shows, these 3:30 p.m. shows, we're kind of always a little bit late. We're going to be changing these up as well. And, Joe and I were just talking. It's like, the circuit contest doesn't go on all year. And, the NFL season doesn't go on all year and all that other stuff. But at the same time, we'll have other shows to talk about. We have some new people that are joining us that are going to do shows and, all kinds of stuff. It's pretty exciting. It's like I could always feel it. I was telling my wife this. I could always feel it when something's happening. Like something big is happening, it's like, I know it.
Absolutely.
And, I could always feel it, and I'm spot on. So I feel something big is happening. I'm excited about it. So it's not like we haven't been trying. So,
Yeah, I'm excited. I think we've got some great ideas for some new shows, some great people joining us, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we have new people joining us. It's like craziness. But anyways, we got a really good football card this weekend. We got college football and NFL. Of course, tonight there's 3 college games. Covered those this morning, but tomorrow we have a good slate of games. And the thing about having the handicappers on the show in the morning, we don't like say, all right, that game's taken, take another game or anything like that. Yeah. So even on a card like tomorrow, it's possible that all the handicappers have the same game. We don't, if that happened, of course, we would pick dogs back active on Instagram too. Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. I know who's running the account.
I don't know who that would be.
Me neither. Just happened by magic. Yep, we got that. We got TikTok going. Going to be doing everything again. And like Joe said, we have more people that are going to be doing it, involved in all of these things. And we're going to be doing a lot more here on YouTube as well, on our Pick Dogs channel and on our Sports Chat channel too. So, I don't know.
It's exciting.
It is exciting.
It's really exciting, Mitch.
It is exciting. It's always exciting. I know everyone always gets excited when it happens. So that's the most important thing. But when we look at the college football schedule for tomorrow, it's locked and loaded. If you joined us this morning, you heard me talk about that Cincinnati Notre Dame game, and I just can't stop thinking about it. It's like if Cincinnati can win this game, what that's going to do. And it's like once in a while, something happens and it just changes college football forever. We saw, it happened, in the 50s with the inclusion of black players into college football. All of a sudden it was like, hey, these guys can seriously play too. And it's like, we'll take them. And, we saw with Jackie Robinson in baseball, and it just takes one person to be brave enough, to do it. And, there's in college football, it takes a little bit on both sides. It takes a team brave enough, willing to take on an up-and-comer, and it also takes an up-and-comer that just catches it just right. We saw it in, I've been to games like this in my life, the 84 Orange Bowl. Miami played Nebraska. They were 19.5-point underdogs in that game. And they came out and beat Nebraska. An independent. They were playing against a Big 8 school, and they did it using a pro set offense, which had never been used in college football before, and came out and beat a team running the option. So it happens, and things change forever, and you never look back. And if Cincinnati wins this game, we're looking at a 12-team playoff and then a 16-team playoff next year immediately going forward, because the SEC not going to just sit by and let somebody else cash their checks. It's the way it generally works. But anyways, got a lot of other games too.
Do you think it can happen though, Mitch?
Yes, I definitely think it can happen. I definitely believe it can happen. Cincinnati is favored in this one by 2 points on the road at South Bend. And, the line has moved from 1.5 to 2 when most people would look at that line and say, this is begging you to take Notre Dame at home. It's, Cincinnati went into Indiana and just busted them up. They spotted them points and then just beat them up physically.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one. I'm not going to bet it, but I'm going to be watching it. Another one I'm really interested in to see who comes out victorious is Michigan and Wisconsin, Mitch. What are you thinking of this one? This one is going to be a close battle. It's basically at a pick'em now. I think Michigan wins and gets an upset.
I like Wisconsin here at home. I just like the Wisconsin defense. I think they stuff that Michigan run, make it uncomfortable for them. And, Jim Harbaugh, just not a spot where he generally rises to the occasion. Yeah, and Notre Dame does have the pedigree. I agree with you. They do have the pedigree. But, you have to let, once another team gets in the door, that's how they build their pedigree. And, that's how it happens. We've seen it so many times. Boise State certainly didn't have the pedigree when they ran the Statue of Liberty play and beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, And now look at them. Now they're not a novelty act anymore. Utah didn't have the pedigree when they were part of the Mountain West Conference and beat an ACC team in the Fiesta Bowl under Urban Meyer. It happens, It happens. And, it could very well happen again. Like I said, we've seen it, and it's like it takes a team to have the guts, the opportunity to do it. And when Brian Kelly was the head coach of Cincinnati, and Cincinnati had a shot in the Sugar Bowl against Florida, and he said, can you guys beat an SEC team? I mean, he ended up not coaching the game because he took the Notre Dame job, but he was like, for one game, I think we could take them. It's like just one game. He's like, I don't know about running through a season of the SEC with what we have, but one game, we got as good a shot at it as anybody. But I think, I think looking at that line, that Cincinnati line against Notre Dame, it's telling you, Cincinnati is for real. They're gonna hit them. Notre Dame's coming off of a physical game against Wisconsin at Soldier Field. It's not like they weren't battered last week in that game. I mean, they marched, they won, they did all those great things, but they played against the number 2 defense in the country. So, they're a little bumped and bruised. So
absolutely. It's going to be a tough one for them.
So exciting. I could do a preview show as long as the game, so excited about it.
Would you think this is a situation where it'd be good to take Cincinnati first half for sure, lock that in with Notre Dame coming up off that battle?
I'm not sure because they started so slow against Indiana.
True. Yeah. So
it's like I'm not sure. And you could see Notre Dame blowing them out of the building. That could happen too. But it could go. They definitely stack up. They're a top 10 ranked team. We just have never seen it before. This is the first time this has ever happened since the playoffs started, where a group there's been other teams outside of the group of 5 who have landed in this similar situation. But what happens generally is they just continue to vote them outside of the playoff and keep them they keep winning, and what will happen is number 2 will lose and they'll drop them to 6, keep these guys at 7 or 8, or even drop them when they win. It's generally the way that they've done it. But with this they will have no choice because it will put Cincinnati into those rankings, and there won't be any opportunity for them to drop. Cincinnati's 8th, Notre Dame is 7. They will not, if they win, Notre Dame will not have a chance to jump them unless they lose. And all the teams in front of them generally play each other. So it's going to be some very, very tough for them to do it. But, yeah, I like, back to what Joe was saying, I definitely like Wisconsin there laying the 2 points against Michigan. I just think that they're a more physical team, and, we haven't seen Michigan go on the road. Jim Harbaugh's record in games like this is hideous, absolutely hideous. You know, 0 they're 0-5 against the spread in their last 5, 0-4 against the last 4 as a dog, 0-6 against the number in the last 6 Big Ten games, 1-4 against the spread as a road dog, 1-10 against the spread on the road against teams with a losing home record. So none of those bode well for Michigan, but Wisconsin ice cold trends too. 1-6 against the number following a loss. 1-5 against the spread against a team with a winning record. 2-6 against the number as a favorite.
Yeah, my only concern about Wisconsin is their passing game. They have struggled so much that I think Michigan can shut it down.
Yeah, Ethel Mertz, not the best quarterback as maybe Fred Mertz, Ethel Mertz. I don't know.
Absolutely. So, yeah, it will be a huge test for Michigan if they can get past Wisconsin's defense. Yep. But if they can do that, they'll be able to win it.
0-6 in their last 6 trips to Madison against the number for Michigan. 1-7 in their last 8 games against the Badgers overall. The home team 7-3-1 against the number in the last 11 meetings. And the favorites covered 4 in a row. Every one of these trends favors Wisconsin.
Absolutely. Makes sense. It's come down to basically a pick 'em.
Yeah, I don't like Michigan too much.
Neither do I.
You had Rutgers last week as a premium pick against Michigan.
Yeah, I did.
We both did. Texas against TCU is another interesting game. Gary Patterson has a tremendous record against Texas. The Horned Frogs have not been they don't compete for the national championship generally, but Gary Patterson is one of the longest tenured head coaches in all of college football. He also makes, believe it or not, at TCU, he's got to be in the top 10 or so of highest paid coaches, which is crazy, right? You would never think of him on the list.
That is.
We'll look it up. Highest paid college football.
Liking the over in this matchup. As soon as I see Texas, TCU, I'm thinking that over. Be a definitely good play.
Dan Mullen, Dabo Swinney, Ed Orgeron, Jimbo Fisher, and Nick Saban. Oh, this is like one of those slideshows. It's not a list, which is what I was looking for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, slideshows take too long.
They do take too long.
That's why people leave their website.
Gary Patterson is the ninth highest paid coach, $9.1 million. He actually makes more than Steve Sarkisian does at Texas. He's 11 10-win seasons at TCU. And, they've been in sort of a downward trend recently. But even in the downward trend, he has a tremendous record against Texas. And this just goes to show you, if you can win the game that your boosters care about, you could lose every other game. They do not care. And this is the way what I try to explain to Brian, who doesn't come from a college football town like I do, where it's like we could lose, Miami could lose 11 games in a season if they win, as long as the one win comes against Florida State. It really doesn't matter. If the one win comes against like Florida or Notre Dame or Florida, a team like that, could lose every other game. No one cares, and that's pretty much the way that this one works. But TCU. 6-1 against the number in their last 7 against Texas. So that's how you keep your job at $6.1 million a year coaching the Horned Frogs.
You have to hold on to this, hey? Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I'm definitely leaning on that over if I'm playing this game at all. I think we're just going to have a back and forth battle here. So I know that over is hit in 5 of the last 6 for Texas.
Well, Texas has scored 128 points in their last 2 games. So I would imagine.
So they could do it themselves over 66.5.
They gave up 35 last week against Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I think on the other side of the spectrum is Georgia against Arkansas. The total has gone up from 48.5 up to 50, but I don't see how any points at all are scored in this game. We have two mediocre offenses and two really good defenses. Arkansas is, they're for real this year. I mean, they beat two teams with big question marks in Texas and Texas A&M, but at the same time, they're undefeated. They've done everything that's been asked of them.
Absolutely. So would you take Arkansas with the points here, or do you think Georgia's just going to dominate too much in this one?
I'm personally looking at Arkansas with the points, but I think the under is the better play.
I definitely do too.
But I like Arkansas with the points. I don't know if Georgia can score 17 points in this game.
Yeah.
I think that this could be 14-7, 14-10 type game. If even that 14-6.
And Arkansas is 5-1 against the spread in their last 6. So they're definitely covering with those points. I like them. I like them plus the points. But that under is definitely way too solid to take anything else.
How about Wake Forest and Louisville? Here are two teams that put a lot of points on the board as well. The total in this one is set at 62.
I like the over.
Yeah,
I like Louisville to come in and get this upset. I think you take them plus the points. I think they cover with the points, and they could win this one. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Louisville so far this season.
Yeah, I kind of like Wake. I think I just like the way they've been playing. Yeah. Probably not rushing to the window on it. Trying to look at the betting action and seeing what's going on some of these games too, because now we're later in the week, so we should have a really good indication as to where people are on these things. So, what number is this thing? Wake Forest. It is number 142. So I passed it. So 69% of the bets and 81% of the money are all on Wake in this one. The line has gone up. It opened at 6.5, and there are 7.5s out there.
Yeah.
So.
I like Louisville even more at plus 7.5.
Yeah, there's only one of those there, but a lot of these 7s are at high juice, so could go higher. Moving right along. Well, we've got Notre Dame and Cincinnati. We've talked about it a bunch. I like Cincinnati still. Let's look at the betting action and see what that looks like at this point. It just stinks that these Notre Dame games are 2:30 Eastern time. This should be a primetime game.
I can't believe it's not.
So
it'll be primetime on my couch.
Yep,
definitely watching it.
So the numbers on this 157 for Cincinnati. 157. So in this one, 32% of the bets are on Cincinnati, 45% of the money.
I like Cincy then.
But the line is dropping. No, it's kind of middled out here. 1.5, 2 range. I figure there's going to be a lot of money on Notre Dame getting points at home is what people are saying.
Yeah, I could see that too. What do you think of this total? I think I've got 50.5 in front of me. I'm thinking this is a little low. I could see it being 56, 57 point game. Or sorry, 26, 27 for these teams.
I like the under here. I think
just under that 50.
Yeah, to me, I'm just going to take the side though. I think it's one of those games. So here's your Coastal Carolina, 34.5 points over Louisiana Monroe. Another big number for him, 4-0 on the season now.
Yeah, I just think this is way too many points in this situation. I don't like, they have been covering. They're 3-1 against the spread, but I just look at 34 points. That is so many points to give up. I don't like it.
So Coastal will be the next team that everybody's ducking, just so you know. Or when an ACC team leaves the ACC to go to the SEC or to go somewhere else, it'll be Coastal will be the team that everyone says that they should add. And everyone will be like, no, no. That's usually the way that it works is like the old guard will usually, and no matter who they want to add, if it's someone that like can cause them any sort of problems, they'll always fight like crazy to keep them out. I like Coastal, though, minus the points against Louisiana Monroe. I think they kill them. Got Rutgers against Ohio State. Rutgers 15-point home dogs in this one. Covered last week. 4-0 against the spread. 3-1 straight up. Ohio State just 1-2-1 against the spread this season. We saw them struggle against Tulsa. Last week against Akron, they finally looked fairly decent.
Can I take a homer in that Ohio State finally comes out and covers a spread? They finally get dominating win?
You can take what you like. I like Rutgers here, but you can take whatever you like.
I don't know. This is one that I'm staying off. I really keep believing in Ohio State, and they keep kicking me in the butt. 15 and a half, Rutgers probably can keep it tighter than that. So, I want to, as a fan, say Ohio State's going to blow them out, but I don't think it's happening.
I don't think
Rutgers is also 5-1 against the spread in the last 6.
I think what's happening, I think the problem that we have here for Ohio State, and in order for them to do anything and salvage the season here, is they got to shore up the defense. They're getting dragged up and down the field, and I think even if you have an ordinary offense like Rutgers has, and it might even be less than ordinary, 98th ranked passing, just 194 yards per game. But when you have a pass defense that's allowing 255 yards per game like Ohio State does, 89th in the nation, and against a Rutgers defense that's 11th ranked in the nation, we know Greg Schiano is, one of the best. I just think I think they're good enough. Lamont, Joe said getting her butt kicked is what she said. That's what she said. I don't think she was looking for volunteers. Are you frozen? You're frozen, Joe? She's not frozen, but she's frozen on her end, so she doesn't know that she's not frozen with us.
I'm not frozen with you?
No, we could see you.
Just frozen on my end.
Yeah. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, but you weren't frozen, though, on our end.
Maybe I just didn't want to talk about what you're talking about, Mitch. I don't know what was happening then on my side. Frozen. Sorry, guys.
We were putting words in your mouth.
Okay, good. As long as you're putting words in my mouth, everything's fine.
We were saying that we weren't looking for volunteers to kick your butt in, because you said I don't want them kicking me in the butt. So
okay.
So yes, and I said we're not taking volunteers for that.
I got you.
So Syracuse against Florida State, the line opened at 4.5 here, and it's moved higher. Florida State has not won a game this season. They're 1-3 against the number. That cover was the Notre Dame game, the opening game of the season, that Sunday night matchup in Week 1. Syracuse 3-1 this season. That one loss was at home against Rutgers, who takes on Ohio State this week. But man, Syracuse looks to be one of the better turnaround stories this season. What do you think?
They absolutely are. Yeah, I'm loving Syracuse in this situation. I definitely think we see them come out, and I think you're getting them plus the points, plus 4.5.
5.5.
I'd take 5.5. It's gone up to.
Yeah.
Okay, I would take them all day plus that 5.5. Definitely over this Florida State team.
I could see Bittler taking Florida State tomorrow on the show. Well,
he will.
Actually, that's not one of his games. He submitted his games, not one of his, but I'm sure he loves Florida State.
I'm sure he does too.
Florida State.
Yeah, I really like Syracuse, actually.
Florida State defense ranked 95th, 116th against the pass, allowing 282.8 yards per game, while Syracuse, 10th ranked defense in the nation, 18th against the run, 29th against the pass. Yeah. I always look at defense first.
Yeah. Defense wins championships.
Also covers point spreads.
Yeah.
Kansas State hosting Oklahoma. They've been the thorn in the side of the Sooners the last 2 seasons in a row. It's been Kansas State getting it done outright against Oklahoma. Here they are as 11.5-point home dogs after West Virginia nearly knocked off Oklahoma last week. The Sooners just 1-3 against the number. I mean, they almost lost to Toledo also. So it's not just like, well, they played a bad game against West Virginia and they almost got them, but I mean, they almost lost to Tulane earlier this season.
Yeah, so in this, I think Oklahoma comes out and wins it, but I don't know if they can cover this. What we've seen out of their offense in the last couple of weeks has just looked pretty stagnant, not loving it. So I think Kansas State plus the points is my best bet in this one.
I think that, Spencer Rattler is just a little overrated for my taste. Mm-hmm. I think Kansas State, once again, on the money line, I think they beat him again.
I like it.
They just own them. It's like, it's always like this weird play, right? It's like they all get together and then someone just goes running around the end for Kansas State. It always never looks like, great play, but they normally get the most out of it. Alabama taking on Ole Miss in Tuscaloosa. Ole Miss, number 1 ranked offense in the nation. We've seen some vulnerability out of Alabama, especially in the second half of games. Normally when Saban gets beat, though, it happens early in the game. They jump on him. So will Ole Miss have what it takes to jump on Alabama early? I think they got a chance. I do.
I do too.
I
really like Ole Miss in this one.
I like them too. I like them on the money line as well. I'm going to parlay them with Kansas State.
Yeah, I agree. I know Alabama's at home, but I think Ole Miss comes out and gets it done. So I'm looking for a huge day from them.
We generally don't do college football halftime picks. The reason why we don't is because the games generally don't go to the half at the same time.
Yeah.
Even if they start at the same time, they generally are all over the place. So it doesn't sync as well. And then doing one game when it's not like the championship game or the playoff games or something like that, or bowl games at halftime, it's rarely works out to what it's supposed to be. So
Absolutely.
That's why we don't generally do college. But NFL, it's like, we'll definitely be here. I'll be here Sunday. I don't know if Joe's coming or not.
What? Are you kicking me off?
No.
Kicking me off halftime?
No, I'm not. I didn't kick you off.
Look what I hear.
Are you kidding? It's
like
days, I'll lose half our audience, and that's all. It's like, no, I'm not kicking you off.
I'll be here for sure for all the halftime shows.
Joe's the record holder for my halftime co-host spot. I've had other people on for like one show, and it's like, I can't do it. It's like they start getting on my nerves. I just I just don't even tell them. What I do is I don't tell them I'm coming on.
Yeah, you're like, whatever.
Oh, I missed your halftime. Yeah, that's what I was meaning to talk to you about. Actually, you didn't, because you're not on the show anymore. But,
okay, well, I'll know if you never call me at halftime what happened.
No, so far so good. I think you've gotten past that point. It's like it normally happens in the first show or two. I've tried it with several other people too. I have. It's like you're not the first person to ever try halftime.
So your eyes must have grown when I said I'll do a halftime show with you.
I offered it up thinking that you were going to be like, yeah, I could do it once in a while. It's like
you're like, this girl will not go away.
I'm like, oh man, she wants to do halftime. It's kind of my thing. It's like it's the one thing I get to do, the one live show I get to do by myself. It's okay.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we used to have Mondays with Mitch too, and we could in the mornings.
You need Mondays with Mitch.
Yeah, we used to do Monday with Mitch when there's no games going on hardly, or just one game. We just do Monday with Mitch. People just ask questions. It could be about anything. It doesn't have to be sports. It doesn't have to be whatever. Just no religion, no politics. But anything else is totally open.
Wow.
Like, what's your pad thai recipe? What's this? People ask all the time. Stuff like that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yep. How did you start the website? How did you get involved in the business? all these things. People ask these questions. When did you start doing this? A lot of people, how did you get started?
Wow, I think you definitely need to bring back Mondays with Mitch.
Oh, yeah, we will. We'll have it. It's fun. It's like, I enjoy it. It's a good time to bond with everybody. And,
Yeah.
It's like, it's not for everybody, It's not for the people that come by and say, just get to the picks. It's not for those people.
No.
It's for our regular fans.
Absolutely. I like it.
Yeah, we'll do it again. We should have some time. At least maybe once a month we'll do it or something.
For sure.
West Virginia, Texas Tech is one of the interesting ones out there, as well as Stanford and Oregon. Either of these two?
Oh, Stanford for some reason is telling me to bet them. I don't know why. There's just something in my gut that thinks Stanford comes out and wins this one. And then I think Texas Tech, I would take them plus the points. I think this is one of the situations where they're going to keep it tight. I don't know if they win it. Both these teams are off losses. I think they're both going to battle for this win. So I like the dog with the points in that one.
Yeah, I'm on the fence on that one. It's kind of like I did a video on it. I couldn't even tell you who I picked. That's how on the fence I am about it. The Oregon-Stanford game, I really like Oregon, though. I just think Stanford last week, we saw vulnerabilities against UCLA, and if you have those kind of vulnerabilities against UCLA, against Oregon, it's only going to be worse. They're not horrible, but they're not going to beat Oregon, not even at home.
Yeah. Well, Oregon, I keep looking at lines with Oregon. I think it's so inflated after they beat Ohio State. So it scares me.
If I'm missing any games you want to go over, just yell them out. I got Kentucky and Florida. Kentucky 7.5-point home dogs in this one. I like Kentucky in this game. I think they at least cover against Florida, who, second road game of the season.
Yeah. I agree with you. Kentucky's 4-0 right now, and I think they're on a roll. I don't know if they win it, but definitely taking them with the points against Florida is the safer bet in this one. I wouldn't take the money line.
I think before you get to basketball season, Kentucky seems to be better.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you get to basketball season, there's no fans there. They're all at the basketball game. Got Oklahoma State and Baylor. Oklahoma State 3.5-point favorites in this one. On the video for this, I gave out, I believe, the under 47.5.
That line has moved a lot from the opening at 49.5. Then, hey?
Yeah, there was even 50s out there on the open.
Wow, I'm surprised by that. It's moved so much in the last 3 days. So. I like the under in this situation too. I'm leaning towards Oklahoma State. I don't know if I'm going to jump and bet this one. Oklahoma's been winning these games really close this year. They haven't been really blowing people out.
No, their games have been really close, and that's because defensive team. So the 3.5 should be good enough. I think Baylor has a chance to win this outright too. They looked really good against Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
Got Liberty and UAB.
Yeah, Baylor's 4-2 against the spread. Go ahead.
Liberty and UAB. This one's kind of interesting. UAB 3-1 and Liberty 3-1. Of course, the one loss was to Syracuse last week that we all saw on national television and had picks on it.
I got to take Liberty plus the points in this one. Liberty is 11-1 against the spread their last 12. I think they battle in this one, and I think they win it straight up.
I do too. I think they were good enough to beat Syracuse. I think that the game was at Syracuse was the only difference. I don't think UAB is good enough, so I'm going to go with Liberty there. Texas A&M, Mississippi State, another tough one. Texas A&M really struggling offensively in the post-Kellen Mond era. Don't love that game.
No, I don't love it either.
How about Iowa State, Kansas? Iowa State 34.5-point favorites over Kansas in this one.
They better.
Yeah, I
they
think
better just blow Kansas right out of the water.
it kind of is that type of game for them where they really, really need a big win.
They do.
Clemson looking to bounce back 2-2. When's the last time Clemson was 2-2 to start the season? Really, the offense just absolutely struggling against Boston College, who has been running the football super effectively. Boston College 4-0, but really they beat UMass, Colgate. They beat Missouri is their big win.
Yeah.
In overtime last week. So
yeah, give me Boston College plus the points. So I don't think this Clemson team can cover this many points. I think they come out and win it, but they don't cover. So
I like the
Boston
under.
College all the way.
I like it, and I like the under.
Yeah. Right? Has Clemson covered at all this season? I don't think they have.
No, 0-4 against the number. Boston College 3-1 against the number.
Yeah, give me Boston College plus the points.
I don't think anyone's going to cry a tear for Clemson with the run that they've had. 2 national championships, and they're the only team that was in the playoff every single year. They're the only ones.
Wow.
So
there's a stat for you.
Yeah. And up until their loss against Ohio State last year, they had been an underdog in every playoff game that they were in. Every single game they were an underdog. Opening first round, second round, always an underdog. Every single game.
But always in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, in the playoff they were an underdog every single game.
Yeah.
And they won 2 national championships. They lost in the championship. So look at how many times they won outright as a dog in the playoffs. It's amazing. They were an underdog the year they beat Notre Dame like 38-0. They were an underdog in that game.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. The year that Deshaun Watson hit Hunter Renfrow for the touchdown at the end of the game, they were an underdog in that game against Alabama. They were an underdog against they beat Alabama twice. The Trevor Lawrence one where they beat Alabama in that one. They were an underdog in that game.
I totally forgot Deshaun Watson came from Clemson. Totally blanked on that. Wow.
Oh, yeah. National champion. Dragged Alabama up and down the field 2 years in a row in the title game. And the year that they dragged them up and down the field and didn't win, they still covered. That was the year that Nick Saban kicked the onside kick in the third quarter. Like, it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then Alabama kicked an onside kick. They recovered. And then they went down and scored the touchdown. That was the difference in the game. Great game. Yeah. I love college football.
I know you do.
I just grew, it's like you grow up with it, and it's like no matter where I am, it's kind of just brings me back home, and it's like, the weird thing is, here's the odd thing, and anyone that's from Miami, that's in the chat knows this, right? Is that there's something about like being in Miami and like you park the car right near the old Orange Bowl, right? And you're walking to the stadium, and all of a sudden you could speak conversational Spanish, It's like, I know Spanish, right? It's like I grew up in Miami, so you know Spanish, but it's like it's always like a broken, kind of like good enough to get by, Donde es el puerto, It's like, where's the airport, whatever. But it's all of a sudden you're walking to the game and you stop, for a Cuban coffee or, something or whatever. And all of a sudden it just comes pouring out of you. It's like, basically you can get by in a foreign country. It's hard to explain, but,
I love it.
Definitely something like the other night they were talking about on one of the games. I think it was a baseball game. It was like, they were talking about, Latin American foods. And they were talking about arepas, and my wife's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Well, it's like a cornbread with cheese. It's like kind of like a grilled cheese, but they make like all different kinds of them." And she's like, "How do you know about that?" I'm like, "It's like they sell them at the football game, like they sell pretzels."
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the old Orange Bowl they did. I don't know if they still do it or not. The Truth Detector thanks you for the picks. Not me.
I know. So I said he's welcome.
Just Joe. Just Joe.
That's me.
Just Joe. Mitch.
It's okay.
Joe's only here so we could so we could tag her in our videos.
Mitch, I think you need to do a weekly college show, even when college football isn't going, because the amount you could still talk about with the draft and everything, or players coming in, everything like that.
Well, you can come on with me. We could do it.
Yeah, I
College
think
football.
you need
We
to
could talk
keep up
about
with it.
recruiting, and we could talk
Yep.
about all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Coaching changes.
players that are leaving and getting drafted and everything.
Coaching changes. Definitely, we could look at different teams and like who the starters are projected, and the spring football and the battles.
Absolutely, because you're a wealth of information in college football. So I think you need to get it all out there.
I love college football. It's my game. Even though it's like not, sometimes it's my best picking sport. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it works against you, because things that kind of you wouldn't normally take into account. We've got Indiana and Penn State. This is a grudge match from last year, the overtime loss on a controversial call at Indiana. I don't like this spot. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, that the stadium was in Little Havana. I used to go to the El Credito Cigar Company on Calle Ocho and get cigars.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think Penn has to come out and win this one, right? But by 10.5 points? Yeah, I give it to Penn State. I think Penn State takes this one. It's going to be hard. What wasn't the last game like by 1 point?
I think it was 3, but it was overtime.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was overtime. They scored the touchdown. Yeah. Penn State had gotten the field goal, and I think they scored the touchdown is what happened. So it ended up they don't kick the extra point. They just win by 3.
Yeah.
But I think it was like one of those weird things where like he hit the pylon, he didn't hit the pylon, he was out of bounds before he was down before he hit the pylon. They just gave it to him.
Yeah. I know. This is a hard one. I'd probably throw Penn State in a parlay on the money line because this 10.5 points it's scary.
I think they it's just not a good Indiana team this year, but that makes it probably even closer. So
yeah,
we've got LSU and Auburn. Bo Nix just is so uninspiring. It's like he's just such a bad quarterback. It's like I always feel like, see, I'm at the age now where it's like my wife says this. I always say this at the racetrack. It's like I lost money on his father. It's like I lost money at the racetrack. Though it's like I lost money on his father, his grandfather. It's like I lost money. It's like. It's unbelievable, It's like, because like you look at it, and it's like, how did I get that? Oh my god! It's like I lost money. Yeah,
this one I've been flip flopping on. I really was coming out at the start of the week thinking Auburn takes this one, but I don't know. I'm liking LSU the closer we get to game day tomorrow. So I think LSU can win and cover this 3.5 point spread.
I think that I'm kind of on Auburn here. I've gone back and forth too, but for me, it's the other way. I liked LSU initially. I like the way their offense is rolling, but I like the Auburn defense. I really like those linebackers. I'm a defense guy, so it's just based on that alone. I'm just taking Auburn. I'm probably not going. I'm not going anywhere near this thing.
No.
We've got Oregon State against Washington. This one is Oregon State coming off of that big win against USC last week. It wasn't like a close game and they squeaked it out. I mean, they absolutely slaughtered them. And that was at USC. Meanwhile, the Beavers now opened as a 2.5 point dog, now a 1.5 point favorite. Corvallis, Oregon, nasty place to play college football. It's like not a friendly building at all. So Washington comes in 2-2 on the season. Of course, they lost their first 2 games and now have won their last 2.
Yeah, this one is kind of a stay off for me. If I was going to bet it, it would have to be Oregon State plus the points. I think it's just a safer way to go with this. I'm not loving it, though.
I like Oregon State in this one as well.
Yeah.
I like it probably a little more than you do. Got UCLA against Arizona State. This will be our last of the college football for today, and then we'll turn back to NFL. Any opinion on this one? Pac-12,
Yeah,
3-1 teams.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be one of the best games of the day. I think we're going to have a phenomenal game out of these two teams. Am I betting a side? There's no way. I think it's going to come down to last possession in this one. I think they're really evenly matched teams, and we're going to see them going for point in this one. I like the over 55.
I like Arizona State here. I just think their defense is so much better than UCLA. UCLA really good against the run. Arizona State really good against the pass. I just think I just like Arizona State in this one. I think they run better than it's strength on strength. Their running is the best part of their offense. UCLA's best part of their defense. Same thing the other way around. The passing for UCLA is the best part of their offense. The pass defense is the best for Arizona State. I think Arizona State takes this one. I think they win it outright.
I like it. So you're willing to do it money line?
Oh yeah. I mean, if I'm on if I'm on Kansas State money, it doesn't take much. I think it's like over the last month. One thing you probably figured out: it doesn't take a lot to get me. I'm pretty much a pushover on most of these things.
No,
but
not at all. And go ahead.
But we can go to NFL. Let's see.
Yeah, in the last 4 games between these two, I can't believe this total is so low. Their last 4 matchups, head-to-head, these two teams, it's been 257 points. So the average points per game is 64.25, you guys. That 55 looks like easy money when you look at that.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Arizona State. So we go to the NFL, and the big story, the Titans, couple big players out for them. Brown and Julio Jones, both out for the Titans against the Jets. Yeah. But the line is now dropped to 6 in this game. But I just think it just creates more value. For me, it's not a play on the Titans. It's just a pure play against the Jets. And,
absolutely.
I think that's what, Joe has the prop in on
Zach Wilson.
Yeah. And it's like, I think that the Titans are one of these teams, and if you watch their games a lot, which, I'm a game watcher, they tip a lot of passes. Even into the secondary, a lot of balls get batted around, and a guy like this, when balls get batted around, a rookie quarterback, they always get it picked off. So, I could see him having problems moving the football here. I still like the Titans, and I think the Titans are going to lean on the running game. And I think even if they don't lean on the running game, it's like the Jets will still have to respect it.
Oh, I'm completely with you. I think people keep forgetting, yes, like we've got a couple major key elements out for the Titans, but they're playing a Jets team with a rookie quarterback with no weapons around him. He's not able to get that ball to anyone. He's got an offensive line that doesn't give him the time, and they're going to have a really hard day, these Jets, no matter who comes out for the Titans.
Yeah, I agree too, and I think everyone that could play on an NFL roster can play. And I think they're going to be good enough. I do, especially
absolutely.
They're going to have to stack the line against the run, or else Derrick Henry's going to run for 10 million yards on them. So for me, it's like I said, more of a play against the against the Jets. And I'll continue to bet against the Jets.
Well, they can't come out. If they lose this, they're going to be so embarrassed, the Titans coming out and losing to the Jets.
Got the Dolphins against the Colts. The Dolphins sent me a nice email. They always do right before the home games. Let's see what they have to say for themselves. Let's see. I might have deleted it. They are... I just got it.
They're missing you?
No, they don't miss me. They don't. They don't even like to call me anymore. I might be on the do not call list.
Wow. Yeah, this line has moved with the Colts and Dolphins. I'm seeing 1.5 only point favorites for Miami now. Yeah, you can get -1.5, -118. There's still -2s out there, though, if you like the Colts.
I just think this is a tough game. I really do.
So do I.
I just think that this is one of those spots where it's like, I'm in no rush.
The Colts have not won yet, have they?
No. But the Dolphins haven't won since week 1.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be a hard one for sure. I'm not touching this. I would think I would take the Colts if you can get them +2. I wouldn't take the Colts at -1.5. I think this is just going to be too tight of a game. It's going to go either way.
You know, the bulk of the sharp money, like the big sharp money bet this week is the Jets. We've seen the sharp money like on this type of thing just get slaughtered year after year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know someone that's probably on the Jets, and let's just say he's used to losing on the Jets.
Yeah, there is no way I'm going to back the Jets. I'd rather stay off the game than back the Jets. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the right way to go. Like, I would rather risk losing.
This Colts Dolphins game is kind of right in the cusp, it's just kind of right in the middle. Just not seeing 63% of the bets, 65% of the money on the Dolphins on the spread. And on the money line, 32% of the money on the money line in the 2-point spread game is on the Dolphins. But 32% of the bets, but 72% of the money. So the bet here is Dolphins money line.
Yeah.
Is the bet.
Absolutely is.
Stay off. Don't love it.
I don't love it either.
Speaking of not loving it, we've got the Bills and the Texans. 17 points in an NFL game. I think there's a stat out there that says, like, if in these NFL games with these gigantic spreads that the favorites cover, like, an amazing number of times, even with these big numbers. So, I don't know. I probably have been on it 0 times. Maybe last year when the Jets, when they were getting like 20 points a game and stuff, I think I might have been against them, but I don't see a way onto the Texans here.
No. Well, it is. It's screaming at you to take the dog plus the points because the opportunity is there for them to cover this, but no way. No way am I taking the Texans. I want to see them lose. I want to see them lose terribly. They're supposed to be the worst team in the league right now. They're supposed to be. So let's get back on that path of being the worst team in the league and get a huge loss here. Give me the Bills minus the points.
We got the Cowboys and the Panthers back at this one. This one hasn't moved. We're still at 4.5 on this thing.
Yeah, give me the Panthers. I'm loving the Panthers in this matchup. I really think the Panthers plus the points was something I wasn't expecting. I thought the Cowboys would have been the dog in this situation. I think what we've seen out of the Panthers defense is going to be too much for these Cowboys. I think Dak Prescott is going to have a good day, but I'm liking Sam Darnold too. And I think these two quarterbacks are going to battle back and forth, and the difference will be the Panthers defense.
This game has inverse line movement with the Cowboys opening as 5.5 point favorites. We're showing 56% of the bets and 68% of the money on the Cowboys, yet the line dropping down to 4.5 from 5.5, even some 4s out there. So that's usually not a good sign for where the money is at.
Yeah.
It means that the books are pretty comfortable, or there's a big position on the other side that's not accounted for in the sample. And that is also a strong possibility here. Got the Vikings and the Browns. The Vikings now 2-point home dogs. They were originally a 1-point home dog. In this one, a lot of money and a lot of bets here in Cleveland, and the line is moving pretty much in that direction.
Yeah, so this is one where every year Kirk Cousins gets me. right? You think you've seen what you've seen out of him. You think he's going to have a good game. And then Kirk Cousins just plays like Kirk Cousins. And you go, why did I bet for Kirk Cousins? I think this is one where I really want to take the Vikings to come out and get this win. But I'm going to stay off it because the chances that the Browns can win this are probably better than the Vikings.
Yeah, they're home. I don't know. To me, this is a coin flip game, so it's one that I'm probably staying away from. It's just I can make a case for the Vikings at home, and the Browns are probably the better team on paper. So it's just I don't know. At this point, maybe it'll change for me tomorrow when I'm putting my NFL picks in. I don't put my NFL picks in until generally the night before, the day of. That's when I do my NFL because there's just too much money on these games, that things will swing.
Oh, absolutely. And I learned my lesson the hard way. Remember the year Matt Stafford was with the Lions and the morning of they announced that he was out for that game? I already had my bets in. There was no way to withdraw it. And
it's not like baseball where if they scratch the starters, especially in the COVID age, where guys they test, and then they test right out of the game. Got the Falcons and Washington. The Falcons opened as a 1-point favorite. Now 1.5-point dog. I think because Joe took them in the office pool. They flipped the whole line, 2.5 points.
Yeah, you know what? I got to take Washington. I really do. I got to keep backing them. I believe we haven't seen everything that their defense has within them to stop these Falcons. I think they're going to be able to do it in this matchup. I believe in them a lot more than what we've seen out of them so far this season. So give me give me Washington against the Falcons.
It's a tough one for me. I'd probably lean to the Falcons still. We were on opposite sides in the office pool. We're still opposite. We got the Eagles and the Chiefs. The Eagles 7-point home favorites in this one. Second biggest sharp play on the board is the Eagles.
Wow. Well, you know why? The Chiefs can't cover a spread to save their lives. Like we've seen out of this team, a team that can come back, can do all of these things, but covering a spread isn't something they can do.
But the Eagles,
I'm with them.
The Eagles haven't been any gem against the number either. No. They're 1-2 this year, and we just saw them on Monday night where they were terrible. So now on a short week against Kansas City, but the Chiefs, they just seem vulnerable this year, right? Patrick Mahomes, we're not like normally he's takes that step away and he makes the throw downfield and hits the guy like 25, 30 yards downfield, wide open. Tyreek Hill, bounces around for the touchdown, right? It's like. We're not seeing that this season. What we're seeing is him getting hit back there. And we saw that ankle injury in the playoffs last season where he came out of the game. And, maybe some of that's lingering or maybe the blocking problems are still there that we saw in the Super Bowl. I'm not sure, but they haven't looked like the team that's been to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row, that's for sure. We got the Bears and the Lions. And the Lions 0-3, but 2-1 against the number. The Bears 1-2 and 1-2 against the number. They are 1-0 against the number though at home this season. And they played the Bengals in that one.
Yeah. Now we are seeing Nick Foles come out for the Bears. Is that correct?
I believe so. The Nick Foles show.
What are we going to get out of Nick Foles? This is what scares me taking the Bears, but then we got the Lions with Jared Goff. This is a game that I don't want anything to do with. We'll see. Both these teams are not playing well at all, so I'm not touching it.
I love the Lions.
Stay away.
On this one.
Yeah.
Yep. I like them a lot. Straight fade of the Bears offense altogether. We got the Saints and the Giants. This one down to 7 now. Was 7.5. Down to 7. Saints 2-1. Giants 0-3. I'm going to continue to just fade bad teams, and I'm going to go against the Giants here.
Yeah, I like it. Give me the Saints as well. I think they come out and get this done. I've been impressed with Jameis Winston, which I didn't think I was ever going to say. And I do like Daniel Jones for the Giants, but I think the Saints team is too much for them. I think the Saints will just control all parts of the field.
It's one of those weird situations where the money still is really pointing to the Giants here, but I just can't buy into it. I just can't.
No, either can I.
67%.
Right, and the Saints are at home, and Give me the Saints at home.
We got the Cardinals and the Rams. Good old NFC West battle. Rams -6 in this one.
Oh, this is one, I really think the Cardinals can cover this spread with this Rams team. I'm looking for a lower scoring game, more of a run game out of the Rams, and I think the Cardinals keep it tight. I really do.
I'm with you. I think this is a last-second field goal. Could go either way.
Yeah.
Last-second field goal, like a make or miss, or one of those type deals. Got the 49ers against Seattle. 49ers have been one of the worst home favorites of any team, but still 2-1 on the season. Seattle 1-2. They won their opener, have lost now 2 in a row. While 49ers 2-1 coming off of that loss to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Now, do you think that loss to Aaron Rodgers in that last game with the Packers will be enough to drive them to get a win at home? Or do you think they're going to come in kind of deflated? Teams can go either way.
But I don't think they're going to be deflated against the Seahawks. I still like Seattle here. I just think getting 3 points is easy money. I think Seattle either wins outright or loses by less than that.
Yeah, I can see it.
The Broncos opened as a 1-point favorite against the Ravens. Now they are 1-point dogs. The Ravens have won 8 of their last 9 regular season games. 2-1 this season. The Broncos 3-0. Jets, Jags, Giants.
Yeah, so this is one of those situations where I think everything's screaming at me to take the Broncos because we just look at their records so far this season. The Broncos have never been in this situation, but there's no way. I've got to go with the Ravens all the way in this. They are the better team in all aspects of the game. So give me the Ravens.
I'm with you in this one. We've got the Packers against the Steelers. The Steelers really reeling. Their one win did come on the road. That was week 1 at Buffalo. They were down by 10, rallied. It's the only good half of football we've seen from the Steelers all season long. And here they are in Green Bay against Aaron Rodgers and company.
Yeah, so I saw an interesting fact the other day. This is the first time that Aaron Rodgers and Big Ben have played each other since Super Bowl. Like, I saw that. Might be right. I think it's right.
It's possible. I remember that game. That was like...
Yeah.
I watched that game. I was at the Aria in Vegas.
Oh, okay. It's good when you can. It was a good game when you can remember where you're at.
I could tell you where it was at when for everything.
Must have a photographic memory.
Pretty much.
Nice. I like it.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Blessing and a curse. It's like, I know there was one more cookie in the cookie jar. Like, someone took it.
Well, not just that. It's also, but you said this.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did. I completely know you did.
We've seen Rod on the morning show blowing his top, and I'm like, oh, yes, you did. Go back and watch the tape. There it is.
Yeah, right? That's a good thing about video. We can all go back and see what we said. In this matchup, I'm going to have to go with the Packers at home. I think they get a big win over the Steelers team that I'm just I'm not loving. I'm not loving what I'm seeing out of them. I think this is Big Ben's last year. I think hard road game for them to come into Lambeau.
I think it's just tough for me to believe that the Steelers are this bad. And I think that they at least cover in this game, even if they don't win. When they did meet in that Super Bowl, it was a tight game. Rashard Mendenhall with the fumble that Green Bay recovered was the difference maker in that one. He's not on the Steelers anymore, so I think the Steelers have a chance here to at least cover. It just seems too many points to be given to the Steelers. These are two of the most popular teams in the NFL. Got the Patriots and the Bucs. This line up from 5.5 up to 7. Tom Brady, all sorts of props, all sorts of everything. This might be, I know it's the highest priced ticket for a non-playoff or Super Bowl game in Patriots history. I believe this might be one of the most viewed regular season, and I'm not saying the whole game, but at least part of the game. It might be one of the most viewed regular season games of all time in the NFL. I really think it's going to be that big of a game. I think people that aren't football fans are going to tune in and watch this game, or at least, see what happens.
You're going to get all the people that just watch Super Bowl tuning in.
Right.
Right? This is going to be a huge game for everyone out there. In this one, it comes down to who you really think the GOAT is. Is it Brady or is it Belichick? And I'm going to go with Brady. I think the Bucs come out, get a dominating win here.
I think there's a little bit more to it than that. I think Brady also has the better supporting cast, and the Patriots also had a losing season last year, and the Bucs won the Super Bowl. So it shows you that they have it. Also, he gets Antonio Brown back for this game as well. I think Brady's just too much, and it moves us to Monday Night Football. The Chargers and the Raiders, 3 points. I like it a lot better here than at the 3.5. That's for sure. I think this is one of those games that is a push.
It probably is.
It's one of those. I see 3.5 still out there, but it's light juice on those. The Raiders undefeated coming into this one.
Yeah, so I think the Raiders get their first loss. Of course, I'm a Bolts girl, a little bit swayed by my Chargers here, but I think in this situation, as long as the Chargers can stop getting these penalties, if they can't, the Raiders win. Raiders are normally one of the most penalized teams in the league, but we're seeing the Chargers make stupid moves to get their penalties. This isn't them being up in someone's face. This is them making illegal shifts. So as long as the Chargers have fixed that this week, they come out and beat the Raiders. But I agree, this is going to be a very tight game.
Yeah, I don't think this is the time of year where you could say a team is for real or not for real or anything like that. The NFL has decided the teams that do it week 13 and beyond is when that all happens. This year, of course, 17-game season for the very first time. I believe there's expanded playoffs as well this year. So, that's a whole nother thing as well. So I think only one team gets a bye or something for the playoffs because there's 3 games each conference in each of the first 2 weekends.
Okay.
So
interesting.
I think only one team gets a bye in each conference, and then there's games Saturday, Sunday, and Monday in the playoffs.
I love it.
Yeah.
3 days of football in a row.
More days,
NFL.
more football.
Yeah.
Also, because the season got pushed out, it gets pushed out because they started it, still at the same time. So it's pushed out another week into January. And then, so we have Monday Night Football. It's always like, oh, Monday Night Football's over. What am I going to do? Well, we got another game.
I know. It's exciting. That's for sure.
It is. Yep, those goofballs were clowning us last night. Clowning us. I'm used to it, They said the same thing the week before in the Lions game, right? It's like they say it all the time. I've been doing those halftimes forever. Well, not forever, but for as long as they've had live video on the internet, on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, I've been doing NFL halftime. So it's like I'm used to it. I've been doing it forever.
They did promise they'd be back today. I don't see them back.
No, they're not back. They never come back, Joe. They never come back. You'll learn that if you make it as my co-host on the halftime shows. They never come back.
If I make it to a couple more primetime games.
You are the record holder.
If I'm allowed back.
I normally get fed up.
I like it. So you guys, we're gonna do over under on the next month. How many more days I'll last as Mitch's co-host for the primetime shows?
I like the over. I'm good on this one. I could tell. Like if you weren't gonna make it, you would have been gone already.
Okay.
It's like
okay, good to know.
There's reasons why the other people aren't there. It's like if you don't show up on time, you're gonna come halfway through the halftime. Don't bother.
Yeah. That's what that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
That's a distraction.
Doesn't work for me. It's called we've already gone over these games.
Yeah.
Let's see, here we go. This is why I am like I am. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. I like this. It's kind of like a last minute breakdown, go back through everything. And, we had a chance later on in the week. And then tomorrow, of course, we don't get to say that much. It's the cappers that dictate the games we go over and, give out a lot of the picks, kind of let them have center stage. Joe and I are on plenty. But anyways, appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for stopping in. And the show is getting a little bit bigger and better every week, and it will continue to be that way. Probably going to have some guests on this show going forward too. So thanks everyone for joining us. Have a great day.